You've been doing everything right, watching what you eat, trying to stay active, maybe even being more careful at night, but somehow, that stubborn belly fat still doesn't seem to respond the way you expect. And if you've noticed your body changing more as the years go by, it can feel a little confusing, almost like your effort doesn't match your results anymore. So the real question is, what's actually happening here? Because what if the problem isn't how hard you're trying, but something subtle that happens every single morning, right after you wake up? Think about this for a moment. Two people can wake up at the same time, follow a very similar routine, and yet their bodies can react completely differently throughout the day. That's where this idea comes in, same 6 a.m., but a different belly. It's not about randomness, it's about how your body interprets those first signals of the day. In those early moments, your system is especially sensitive, almost like it's deciding whether to burn energy or hold on to it. And the surprising part is, most morning routines unintentionally send the wrong signals without you realizing it. So before you assume it's just age, diet, or lack of exercise, it's worth understanding what your body is actually experiencing the moment you open your eyes, because that might be the hidden reason things aren't changing the way they used to. Now, before we move further, there's something you need to understand clearly. Your body doesn't respond to effort alone, it responds to signals. In simple terms, it's constantly reading what's going on inside and around you, especially in the morning, and then deciding what mode to operate in. It's less about how much you do, and more about what your body perceives. Every morning, your system is evaluating things like your stress level, your energy state, your sleep quality, and even your first actions after waking up, and based on that, it chooses between two main directions: burn energy or conserve it. When the signals are calm and balanced, your body is more likely to stay in a fat-burning mode. But when the signals suggest stress, urgency, or imbalance, it quietly shifts into a protective state. And in that state, your body tends to hold onto energy reserves, especially around the abdomen, because it interprets that as a safer storage area. That's why two people can follow similar diets and activity levels, yet see completely different results over time. It's not always about discipline, it's about the internal signals being sent during those critical early hours. And the morning is especially important here, because that's when your body is most sensitive to these cues, almost like it's setting the tone for the rest of the day based on what it experiences first. Now here's where things start to connect, because one of the biggest signals your body receives every morning is tied to a hormone called cortisol. When you wake up, your body naturally experiences a rise in cortisol levels. This is completely normal and actually necessary. It helps wake you up, increase alertness, and prepare your body to start the day. But the important detail most people don't realize is this: that morning spike isn't always the same for everyone. In some cases, it can become higher than necessary, or stay elevated longer than it should. And when that happens, your body can interpret it as a sign of stress. Now, when your system believes it's under stress, it shifts into a protective mode. And in that mode, one of the key behaviors is conserving energy instead of using it. Over time, this can influence how and where your body stores fat, with the midsection being one of the most common areas. It's not that cortisol is bad, it's actually essential, but the timing, intensity, and balance of it in the morning can quietly influence your metabolism in ways most people never think about. So even if your diet and activity look fine on the surface, this internal hormone signal could be playing a major role in how your body is responding each day, especially around stubborn belly fat. Now this is where it starts to make sense, because when you look at people who tend to stay lean and metabolically healthier over time, like many in Japan, it's not that they rely on extreme diets or intense workouts every day, it's often their daily habits, especially in the morning, that set them apart. Their approach is not about forcing the body into change, it's about sending the right signals early in the day so the body naturally stays balanced. And that's the key difference. Instead of starting the day in a rushed or stressful way, their routines tend to support a calmer internal state, which helps the body stay in a more stable metabolic rhythm. This matters because, as we've been discussing, your body is constantly responding to cues, and the morning is one of the most sensitive times for those cues to be established. The Japanese concept behind these habits isn't based on quick fixes, it's based on consistency and alignment with how the body actually functions. And when these small habits are repeated daily, they create a pattern of signals that guide the body toward better balance over time. So instead of trying to fight your body with more effort, the idea is to work with it by setting the right conditions from the very start of your day. And that's exactly where the specific habits come in. Now let's look at the first two habits, and they may sound simple, but they play a much bigger role than most people realize. The first one is starting your morning with water instead of immediately reaching for coffee. After several hours of sleep, your body wakes up in a slightly dehydrated state, and one of the first signals you send by drinking water is stability and recovery. It gently supports your system in transitioning from rest mode to active mode without adding unnecessary stress. Some people even prefer warm water in the morning because it feels easier on the body and more calming to the system. Now, the second habit is just as important: getting natural sunlight within the first 30 minutes of waking up. This isn't about exercise, it's about exposure. When natural light enters your eyes, it sends a direct signal to your internal clock, helping regulate your sleep-wake cycle and daily hormonal rhythm. This alignment helps your body understand when to be alert and when to rest later in the day. Together, these two habits, hydration and sunlight, create a foundation that helps your body start the day in a more balanced and regulated state. And when your internal signals are more stable early on, everything that follows tends to work more efficiently, including how your body handles energy and fat throughout the day. Now let's move into the next two habits, and this is where small timing changes can make a noticeable difference in how your body responds. The third habit is delaying your coffee for about 60 to 90 minutes after waking up instead of drinking it immediately. The reason this matters is because your body is already going through its natural morning wake-up process, and introducing caffeine too early can interfere with that rhythm. When caffeine is taken right away, it can amplify the feeling of alertness in a way that may lead to an energy spike followed by a later dip, which can affect how stable your energy feels throughout the day. By giving your body some time first, you allow your natural systems to activate on their own before adding stimulation. The fourth habit is choosing a gentle walk instead of jumping straight into intense exercise first thing in the morning. Light movement like walking helps your body ease into activity without adding extra stress. It keeps things balanced rather than overwhelming your system right after waking up. When your body is already adjusting from rest to activity, adding too much intensity too quickly can feel like another layer of stress. A simple walk, on the other hand, supports circulation, helps you feel more awake, and keeps your internal state more relaxed. Together, these habits help your body transition smoothly into the day without unnecessary spikes or disruptions, keeping your system more steady and responsive overall. Now, the final habit is one that most people overlook completely, and it has to do with how you begin your day mentally. For the first 20 to 30 minutes after waking up, it's important to avoid immediately reaching for your phone or exposing yourself to a flood of information. When you start your day by checking messages, emails, or social media, your brain is instantly pulled into a reactive state. Notifications, updates, and even small bits of information can create subtle stress responses and mental stimulation all at once. This can shift your internal balance before your body has even fully settled into the day. Instead, giving yourself a short window of calm where you drink your water, get some light exposure, and allow your mind to wake up naturally helps your system start in a more controlled and stable way. When your nervous system isn't overwhelmed early on, it tends to stay more balanced throughout the day, and when you put all of this together, water first, sunlight exposure, delaying caffeine, taking a light walk, and protecting your first moments from unnecessary stimulation, you begin to see a clear pattern. It's not about doing more or pushing harder, it's about sending the right signals at the right time. Because when your morning signals are aligned, your body is far more likely to respond in a balanced way. And that's when things start to feel different, not because you forced your body to change, but because you finally started working with it instead of against it.